Hey guys, gals, and Chris Stapleton lovers, this is Real Appalachia with
Melody
and Shane, and we're here at Johnson Central High School in Paintsville, Kentucky, home of the Johnson Central Eagles.
Yes.
And one-time school of Mr. Chris Stapleton, who we just talked about.
That's exactly
so
right.
I'll give you a shot of that. It's kind of interesting to see how these people live. And
it is, yeah.
I consider myself a Chris Stapleton fan. Do you?
Oh, I am.
What's your favorite song?
He has a terrific voice.
Yeah.
I like Tennessee Whiskey. I like, what was the last one? The Lucky Four-Leaf Clover.
I'm more of a Traveler fan. And
I know, you've been singing it all day.
Yeah. Like, would you say Tennessee Whiskey? And
yeah.
Got some good stuff, but we'll get on the road here and show you a little bit more, but he thought it'd be kind of neat. I saw something, a video from just about 4 or 5 years ago. He actually came back and had a free concert here at his old high school, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
That's awesome. I've seen that he's donated a lot of money to the school also.
Yeah, and he probably didn't park in the fire lane with this clearly says no parking like somebody did.
It's after hours, so I'll take up for you a little bit there.
Okay, well, let's get on the road and we'll show these good folks a little bit more about Paintsville and Staffordsville, which I guess is technically where Chris Stapleton is from, right?
It is.
Okay, well, hang with us. We'll get on the road. Thanks.
Say Something. That was one of my favorite Chris Stapleton songs, the one with Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, that's like 5 or 10 minutes ago. You should have said something then. But I hate myself sometimes. I swear I do. But anyway.
Always the wise guy.
Always the wise guy. We've got to stick to the Chris Stapleton theme. Yes. And he was a football player here.
He was a clean-cut football player, if you can imagine that, without the beard.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. And he went to Vanderbilt University for a year, too. So.
He did. He studied engineering.
Very smart guy.
Yep.
Smart guy, an athlete, and a heck of a good songwriter. He may be a good cook for all I know. Wouldn't surprise me, would you? Let's get on the road. Okay, so we're leaving Johnson Central High School, as you can see to the right, heading back toward Paintsville.
Yes.
Paintsville. I want to call it Vull. Most of the things where we're from is called Paintsville, or would be Paintsville if it was Richlands or
right.
Virginia.
And to the right is also the Mayo Plaza, which is where most of the shopping area has moved to.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of references to the name Mayo. We'll get into that a little bit more here because there's a very wealthy individual, but we'll show you the Mayo Mansion here in just a few minutes and get into that story a little bit more. But
they have more stores and shopping restaurants than really I thought first coming into town. So
you said the population is about, what, 3,000 something?
Yes, the population estimate for 2019 was 3,990.
I'm assuming that there's a lot bigger outlying area here because this just seems bigger than that, doesn't it? Am I wrong?
I really don't think so.
Really?
In the Main Street area, it feels more dead. I think that everybody just kind of congregates here, and we'll give you guys a little bit better look of that area here in a little bit. But I read that the city kind of started moving the shopping area down to this Mayo Plaza around 76 or so.
Okay. It's kind of an expansion of the town. You see that a lot rather than redoing those buildings and whatnot. They just put a whole new development in.
Yeah, and they are starting to put some money into the downtown Main Street area to kind of build that back up a little bit, but I think that it just seems like, everybody just kind of congregates down this way.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some other areas too that feed into the place. Kind of like...
It's kind of odd to see the town structured in a way that, like, the busiest part is off away from the main street, but I mean, I guess not. Maybe it just seems kind of separated.
Seems like more of a new development. You see that a little bit like Pikeville, some of those places where they sprung up in different areas versus the downtown, which can still be rehabilitated. But
yeah, and hopefully it will be. I always love the old historic buildings and that kind of thing.
And I think that's what we're seeing a lot of. There was all those strip malls pop up, and even some larger places of malls. They've kind of gone away from that back to smaller things or strip malls, and everything that is old is new again, or whatever they say.
Yeah, exactly.
But we are heading down here.
Kind of in the Staffordsville area, right?
Yeah, we're getting there, and it's you can see this is more of the commercial development area.
Yeah.
It's like what you were just saying about This isn't the downtown main. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
The old part of town, if you will.
Yeah, so this is kind of heading out more towards where Chris Stapleton lived.
Yeah,
so we're going to kind of give you an idea of where he grew up.
Yeah, a lot of people are fascinated by him. He's just a genuine guy, seems like. Just seems like a real, and he still stays connected to this area from what I understand. So
yeah,
kind of hard to not cheer for the guy and be proud of him.
Yeah, and he grew up with a good upbringing. It seemed like middle class.
Yeah, definitely. His father was a coal miner, and I believe I heard him say his grandfather was as well.
Yeah, his mom worked in healthcare at the health department.
So not the roughest upbringing, like, wasn't.
No.
By no means was he poverty-stricken, like you think of a lot of people.
No.
It's kind of cool still that he's a very smart guy, athletic guy, just a very talented individual.
Yeah. The kind of guy you'd expect to get voted like best all around in school.
Yeah, I don't know anybody from this area that doesn't like him. I mean, I'm sure there are plenty, probably. Who knows? But it's like usually you see some resentment toward people that have success, and but you don't see that from him because he just seems like a real genuine, plugged-in guy and unassuming.
He does, and it seems like he's done a lot to give back to his community. Like I said, I read that he donated quite a bit of money to the high school, and like you said, coming back to do the concert and that kind of thing. So
yeah, it's a pretty good thing to do, and just very humble and gracious. It seems like a very sincere dude to me.
Yeah, I think so too. And so from what I read about Chris Stapleton, it seemed like he had a good upbringing, good middle class family.
Yeah, that's he had a little bit different story than some people from around here. It seemed like he had a little bit more.
Yeah. Although he does have the coal mining background.
Yeah, I think he's, from what I understand, I don't know if his father or grandfather had a pretty good position in mines, so they would have made pretty good money.
Yeah.
I guess, long story short, but here we are at Staffordsville.
Yeah.
Just a shade outside of Paintsville.
I read his mom worked in healthcare at the health department, so for Appalachia, it seemed like he had a good upbringing. A lot you see has some kind of hard life story that they overcome and come out of, but was just kind of a best all-around guy. Had a good home life, it seemed like.
Well, I'm glad for one person to hear that, because I don't think you have to have some big dramatic story,
No. And while I love stories like that of overcoming, too, like you said, I think that kind of feeds into the Appalachia stereotype.
Yeah.
So this is the neighborhood that we've read that he's grown up in. We're not going to point out any specific house or anything like that, just to try to be respectful. But this just kind of gives you an idea of the homes that he grew up around and in.
Yeah, there's pretty similar they're all similar floor plans and that kind of thing. So this gives you an idea of what his upbringing would have been like. So like I said, it wasn't a one-room shack.
Exactly. Yeah.
It'd been pretty good, and I've never heard him claim anything else either. That's why I don't have any issue. It's not like he tries to milk a hard scrabble.
Exactly.
Just almost starved to death upbringing. No, he doesn't say anything like that. He's more just unassuming guy all the way around.
Yeah. Looks like a very nice neighborhood.
And I'm proud to show this for people, because
me too.
When people see West Virginia or East Kentucky or Southwest Virginia, or Eastern Tennessee, in some cases they think they get a certain idea, and this is middle class America.
Yeah, it is. To me, even like upper middle class.
Yeah.
But this isn't a rare thing. I mean, you see neighborhoods like this in almost every town, but we show a lot of coal towns that's kind of decreased in population and haven't been maintained as well. So I'm like you, it's good to show this side.
And that's why we call it real Appalachia, right?
Exactly.
You see, these are pretty middle class homes. Mm-hmm. Well, like you said, upper middle class, really, right?
Yeah, really upper middle class. And
for this area especially, but it just seems like, I mean, this is exactly what you see where Leave It to Beaver would be shot or something else,
Right.
So it wasn't exactly, one-room shack and starving to death and didn't know where the next meal was coming from.
Exactly. Yeah, it's good to show this side too, like you said, because we have areas like this in almost every town in Appalachia. It's just that we show a lot of coal towns that have decreased in population, haven't been maintained as well, but that's not every town in Appalachia.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's just, you can find these pockets almost anywhere. We focus on a lot of history, so of course it's going to be more aged.
Yeah.
And not, in some cases, not taken care of. Our population drops, but this is just, again, a good reminder that that's not representative by any means of Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah, it's not everybody.
Yeah.
That goes for any group. You can't just stereotype and think everybody is all the same.
Exactly. So happy to show this, and glad to know that he had a pretty good little life, and good parents. Apparently just has a really good story.
Yeah.
As you can see to the right, there's a welcome to Paintsville, Kentucky sign.
Yes.
So we're heading to more of the residential, or not residential, the downtown area.
Yeah. And I'll give you some history here. So Paintsville, is that right?
I think so. I'm still going to fight calling it Paintsville.
I know. I just automatically want to say Paintsville, but it is along Paint Creek. It is the county seat of Johnson County. The nickname is the city between the lakes. Yeah, as we talked about, the estimated population for 2010 is almost 4,000. It's went up about 500 since the 2010 census, so it's actually went up a little bit. As early as 1780, it's documented the Paintsville area was referred to as Paint Lick Station. It was named that for the Indian art painted on trees near a salt lick when the first white settlers arrived.
It's so weird, that story, because where I'm from, Tazewell County, Virginia, there's a paint lick, and it's for the exact same reason.
Yep.
There's Indian drawings on a mountain.
Yep.
And it was a salt lick that deer used,
Yeah.
And it's Paint Lick. So there's Paintsville, Paints Lick, Paint Creek.
Yeah. Well, and it started out as Paint Lick.
It's just funny how you think that when you hear that story, it's like, oh, that's the only one in the universe. It's like, no, there's one just down the road about it.
Yeah. I mean, you would think it would be a unique, and I'm sure these white settlers didn't get together and say, oh, that's what I named my town. That's a good idea. But yeah, the town was established as Paint Lick Station in 1826, and it was later incorporated as the city of Paintsville in 1843. So one really cool thing, during the Civil War, Johnson County passed a ban on both Union and Confederate flags being flown in its jurisdiction, but soon after, the then Colonel James Garfield marched his brigade into the city and repealed that act.
Which is funny. What I love about that is that's the 20th president of the United States, James Garfield.
Yeah.
So he spent a lot of time in this area as in Pike County, and of course here Johnson County, and did a lot. That's where he made a lot of his name and reputation to become president. So it's kind of neat to think that the president of the United States knows this place is better than we do.
Yeah, exactly. That's really cool that he come through here.
Yeah.
And so much talent too, as we talked about. Chris Stapleton, Tyler Childers. He went to school here in Paintsville. He actually just grew up in Lawrence County, which is right outside of here.
We're doing the big T's again, but there to the left is the Mayo Mansion.
Yes.
Coming up on that, we'll stop and do a little talk about that. Like I said, it's too much to talk about while driving.
Yeah, and it's such a beautiful look. We hate for you just to have a glimpse and nothing else. I love this church on the left here too.
Gorgeous.
So we'll try to give you a little bit better look of it too. The Mayo Memorial UMC.
Yeah, that's also a lot of stone used here for the work.
So up here on the right is the Paintsville High School that Tyler Childers attended.
All right, I'm going to get you again. What's your favorite Tyler Childers song?
I really love Tyler Childers. I'm probably more of a fan of him than I am Chris Stapleton, to be honest, but I love Nose on the Grindstone. Love House Fires, All Yorn. There's so many. I love him.
Yeah. Alrighty, here we are. We decided we'd just stop and take a little look at Paintsville High School. Home of the Tigers.
Home of the Tigers. Go Tigers.
Yeah, that's the name you can get behind, isn't it?
It is. High School of Tyler Childers.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool to think he walked these halls.
Yeah. It's kind of neat. I like that, I don't know, just puts them more of a connection and makes them even more real than they already are.
Yeah. Yeah, because this looks very similar to, Richlands or Homeacre High School.
Yeah. And kids today come here, and who knows who the next Tyler Childers or Chris Stapleton or Loretta Lynn might be, and they might be walking these very halls today.
Exactly so.
Anyway, go Tigers.
Go Tigers. So it's cool to see where he went to high school, and he's actually around my age.
Yeah, just a regular guy,
Yeah.
It's funny to put that, you don't think about it, but...
Yeah, he seems so down to earth, too. I know that you saw this, too, some pictures where he had a concert at Pikeville, and he helped clean up the stadium after the concert. I just thought that was so cool. I mean, how many entertainers do that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's just a very humble, unassuming guy.
Yeah.
Seems to be... You're really glad to see guys like that do well.
Yes. And that's the elementary school there to the left.
So we're getting down to the main downtown area. Give you a little bit of a look around here, and it's a little bit of all over the place, kind of like what you'd expect in these places. There's empty buildings, and then there's some that are used. And
yeah. And like I said, I had read that they are putting more money into restoring the downtown area.
Yeah, it's money well spent when you revitalize these things, because you can tell that at one time Paintsville had quite a bit going on down here.
Yeah.
And you don't want to see that go to waste, because these buildings were meant to last. Almost seems fatality here.
I'm glad that we didn't.
Yeah. Imagine if we videotaped us killing somebody.
You killing somebody and not me.
We're a team. It's real. You're taking half the rap with me.
Oh no. A cute little antique store there on the right. It seems like they do have, like you said, some are kind of run down, but some are.
And the SIP Theater, that's a neat little thing too. I love
it. Is, yeah. The SIP Theater. They're doing Mamma Mia. That would be a cool little show.
Yeah. Prime Diner and Grill.
Seems like they have a lot of the little antique stores, a lot of what you see in downtown Main Street, Appalachia.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see just turning the corner. It kind of reminds me almost of Bristol when they were starting to, it's getting fits and starts. Like a nice clock here, and there's a few, like their coffee house back there looked really nice, and then there's a few empty buildings. It's got a lot of potential to just about to turn the corner.
Yeah, I see there on the left they have some murals painted. I've seen, it's like angel wings. I've seen a lot of towns and cities do that kind of thing to kind of give tourists a place to pose for pictures. Yeah.
So then you can see this is one of the more larger downtown areas. I guess that's why I thought it had a larger population, because if you look at it, this is pretty good sized downtown.
It is.
Main Street part.
The funeral home there.
Well, that's where
right.
we could have took that guy if I'd have plowed into him a second ago.
Gosh.
One of these days, it's on a wreck or do something.
Man, let's have it on the record that I am always telling him to stop for pedestrians.
Hell, you're trying to clear yourself. You're trying to distance yourself.
I'm trying to clear my name.
Do we even work together?
I barely know him. Paintsville Tigers. And that is also the mascot of my hometown of Homeacre. Feel a little connection there.
There's a guy that doesn't know what he's doing. I stop and he had the stop sign and clogged up traffic. The person who doesn't know what they're doing is me.
Yeah.
I've gone down one-way streets. I do rolling stops. I have every cop that watches these channels just ready to throw their remote at their TV or throw their phone out the window. I hate that guy.
Here's the other side of the high school, the gymnasium.
Yeah. It's kind of neat to see that so close to the downtown area. You don't see that a lot.
No, you don't, do you?
I'm a traveler. Let's see if you sing some Tyler Childers.
I don't sing.
Goodness. I get asked to not sing a lot.
Yeah. I'm one of them that ask you.
And how good does it do for people? Not much.
You got a Barney Fife voice.
I do. Yeah, Barney Fife syndrome right there. Santa Lucia. Santa Lucia. I love that episode anyway. Getting back to Paintsville. See, this is really compact downtown area too. It's kind of...
Yeah, everything's kind of right on top of each other, even the schools.
Yeah. Which, this is, you know, a time of day you think would be busy. And it's a little busy, but not...
But like we said, like the Mayo Center was very busy.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha. We'll do another little swoop down through the downtown area just for kicks and laughs, just to make sure we don't miss anything. And then we'll show you the Mayo... I keep wanting to call it the clinic, but it's the Mayo Mansion.
The Mayo Mansion.
I'm just dying to talk about Mr. Mayo.
I'm more of a ketchup fan myself.
Oh, my God. You've been around me too long. That was horrible. That was as bad as anything I could come up with.
It really was,
And you know who loved it? Me. I loved it. That's how I could tell it was bad. What do you feel about mustard?
Not a fan either.
Yeah, that's where we part ways. I figured this would give you a little bit better shot, another view of the SIP theater and the coffee house here. It's a pretty nice place.
There's the police department, right?
Yeah, Paintsville City Council.
Right beside of the theater.
Yeah.
And there's a sheriff's office.
Well, it's so strange to see. I like
Yeah.
this. We'll cut down this way because we didn't go this the first time. So.
Yeah, and they're kind of small buildings to be a sheriff's office and the town police. I guess that's the difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
But like that Paintsville National Bank, that's such a pretty architecture building.
Yeah, it
So
is.
I always like seeing downtowns restored and kept up.
And that's a fairly recent, from that last 10 to 15 years development, I've seen a lot of these Appalachian areas. As
Yeah.
People realize, oh man, there's irreplaceable treasures, a lot of them.
Right. I like that.
Yeah, I do too. Now what you see in front of you is the Big Sandy, I think it is, say,
Community and Technical College.
Yeah, and this is the Mayo campus, which ties into that name Mayo. I've just teased it all day.
Yes.
And we're going to finally, if I can find a parking spot, we're going to be able to talk about this thing here in a minute, hopefully. Well, guess what? I can't find a parking spot. Come on, Paintsville. An ice cream truck? What is that?
I think it's like a church bell or something. Maybe it is an ice cream truck. It's a church bell.
That's
great.
great.
Very pretty.
It is. Look at the street here, too.
Oh yeah, I love that.
That's great. Ice cream truck. You know I'm grabbing at straws for that.
Somebody's looking for dessert.
That's a pretty little residential area, isn't it?
Oh, it is. I like that little house on the right. It's pretty.
Well, we're going to show you this Mayo thing at some point. Probably our next trip. What do you think? The way it's going.
Yeah, might be.
Okay, right in front of you, you'll see what's the Mayo Mansion, formerly known as the Mayo Mansion. It's now a school, and I'll get into that in just a second. We'll cross the road so I can get a little bit better shot, but I thought it'd be great to pan across through here and see the church too.
The United Methodist Church. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's built of stone. That's amazing. Now, try not to be roadkill. We gotta wait patiently and get across here, but that just gives you a few more seconds of glorious viewing. So, getting back to the Mayo Mansion, it was built by John C. Mayo. I finally spat his name out. And he was a local entrepreneur. He was in the coal business. He, in fact, had something to do with Jenkins, Kentucky being built. And he was part of the pack mule program for where the ladies would deliver books into their rural. He helped invest in that, but then he passed away early, so it went away for a while and came back. But he invested a lot in this area and the people.
Yeah.
Extremely wealthy man.
It seems like he got a lot of money just buying up land, right? I read that he was a teacher, and in his tenure then he bought a lot of land.
Yeah, and he's a very very well-connected guy.
Yeah.
And he was kind of involved in the coal business as well. Now, he had plans to build this thing and worked on it it really started in 1905, and it was finished in December of 1912. So he originally was going to build a house with 20 rooms. It ended up having 43. So pretty good little spread, wouldn't you say?
Oh, it is. He was an impressive guy. I had read that he displayed coal from the land he owned at the Chicago World Fair, and a wealthy businessman purchased $10,000 worth into his company.
Well, there you go.
That was part of his money too. He just was a very good businessman.
Yeah, just a smart guy, and he built this out of sandstone blocks and brought in some Italian stonemasons from Cincinnati, Ohio, believe it or not.
It's beautiful.
They brought these in here with a team of oxen. Can you imagine?
Wow.
This is before easy way of doing it. But anyway, back then, this thing cost $250,000 to build.
Yeah.
Which translated to these days is about $6.7 million.
Oh, wow.
Worth every dime of it, when you say.
Oh, yeah. Love these old houses.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. But again, Our Lady of the Mountain School operates it now. So, like I said, Mayo built it, moved in December 2012, and then he passed away, unfortunately, in May of 1914. So his widow and children lived in here for about 3 more years, and then they moved to Ashland, Kentucky, and built something similar to this. They built a different mansion and took some of the pieces from this place there, but they essentially left the area. So they started a college here. The Sandy Valley Seminary bought it. They began the John C.C. Mayo College, but the college closed in 1936 because financial difficulties. So the property went back to his widow. And then they sold it to a person named E.J. Evans, who had been a friend and employee of Mr. Mayo. So in 1945, he sold the mansion and property to the Most Reverend William T. Malloy, Roman Catholic bishop, of the Diocese of Covington, Kentucky.
Yeah.
And in October of that same year, 1945, the Sisters of Divine Providence established Our Lady of the Mountain School.
Yeah, I thought it sounded like a Catholic school. What would be a Catholic school? So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Occasionally you'll see little events out here. I was here last time I was in, actually the only other time I've ever been in Paintsville. I stopped here and there were people taking pictures, and I can't remember if it was a wedding or a prom.
Oh, cool.
But it was amazing.
That'd be nice.
It was just fantastic. But yeah, that'll wrap up our look at Paintsville, and we hope you enjoyed this look. We got a little, what do all we get in here? Chris Stapleton, Tyler Childers, Mr. Mayo, the Mayo Mansion.
So much talent, and so close to Loretta Lynn's home place too. So it's amazing the talent that has come out of this little part of Kentucky.
Can you imagine seeing a concert with Tyler Childers, Chris Stapleton, Loretta Lynn, and Crystal Gale, all in the same
Incredible.
thing? I mean, and if you just went down the road, you could pick up Dwight Yoakam and Patty Loveless, Keith Whitley, Dwight, Gary Stewart. I mean, all kinds of great talent out of this area. It's just phenomenal, really.
It is, yeah.
Blessing to get out here today. Beautiful day.
Yes, it has been.
All right, guys, we hope you enjoyed this look at Paintsville, Kentucky.
If you like this, give us a thumbs up.
Yes.
Comment, share it, and definitely subscribe.
All right, guys, we appreciate you, and we'll see you on down the road somewhere.
Thanks.